So we're back then with another video for Marvel's Midnight Suns. In the last video we had a look at everything we know so far for Captain America. It's a fair amount, he looks like a pretty awesome character. In this video we will cover everything we know so far about Iron Man. Once again, it's a fair amount of information we have. Now the information that I'm running over today, it comes from an awesome wiki that's been set up for the game, and also from another content creator that's actually doing videos on the game called Christopher Rod. He's got early access to the game at the moment, so it'll be a mixture of the wiki and the videos that Christopher is doing as well. I'll put a link to both of them in the description below. But it is Iron Man we will be covering today. We're going to start off talking general overview of his playstyle and what you can expect with him. We'll then check out what you get from his friendship unlocks, and then finishing up we've got a ton of cards to look at for him, including his legendary Midnight Suns card that looks absolutely incredible. Now let's jump in, let's start off with the overview first. So I mentioned just a moment ago that the previous video was about Captain America. His kit was all about taunting, blocking and knockback, so he's a utility stroke tank character. When it comes to Iron Man, it looks like he'll be your DPS character. It really looks to be all about damage, and then even more damage, be it single target or AoE. He makes use of the draw mechanic within the game to boost the power of skills, which is really interesting to see. And like his MCU counterpart, he likes to be the centre of attention, and his kit actually encourages you to play as many cards per round with him as possible, as opposed to splitting your cards over various different characters. The more cards you play as Iron Man, you boost his skills even further, so I really like what they've done with him here. But that's a quick overview. Let's quickly check out the friendship unlocks that will be available for him. The friendship system is one thing that will be very important when it comes to upgrading your characters. When you max out your relationship, and you can do this via talking to the character within the Abbey, you'll gain a legendary card. We can check out the legendary card for Iron Man later on in the video. You'll gain their Midnight Suns outfit, and you'll gain the passive you see on screen at the moment as well. So for Iron Man, this is at level 2 I believe, it goes up to level 3. It's called I'll Handle This, and it ties in really nice with his redraw mechanic. So if 2 Iron Man cards are played in a turn, you gain +1 redraw, and as we talked about earlier on in the video, the more redraws you do on different cards, the more you actually boost the power of different moves or add new affixes to that particular card before you play it. So that's the friendship system. Let's now have a look at some of the cards that are available. As much as Iron Man does look to be a DPS focused character, he's actually got some utility cards, and they're the ones we'll look at first here. So you have Marked Target. This particular one applies to Marked and also Vulnerable. With this, your Marked status effect, when you defeat an enemy that has this status effect, it refunds a card play for you, so that looks like it'll be really quite powerful. And then Vulnerable increases the damage taken by 50% as well. The next card we have here is a pretty simple one. It's called Heads Up, and this one adds 20 block to an ally. So we looked at this in the previous video with Captain America. The block mechanic, the amount that it says next to block will be the amount that it actually negates. So if an enemy was to hit you for, let's say, 30 damage, in this instance you would take 20 off that, so you would only take 10 damage in total. The final utility card we look at here is another simple one, but do bear in mind that this is your tier 1 card, and they go up to tier 3 I believe, and they get more complex in regards to what they do. But this one is called New Plan, and it doubles your current heroism. Now with this, whenever you play a regular card, it will build up a meter, and that meter is used to use cards that require heroic energy, and they are more powerful, so this will certainly be very helpful for firing off these cards. But let's have a look at some of the redraw mechanics that are available on cards now. The first redraw specific card we look at, then we've actually got that upgraded version of it as well, but the base version of it, this card is called Leave It To Me. With this particular card you draw 2 Iron Man cards, plus you do 2 redraws as well. So the way his kit works, with you wanting to use as many of his cards per turn as you can and do as many redraws on your cards as well, this is going to be a really powerful card. Now we have here the level 2 upgrade of this particular card. You can see the affix that's added to it. It's gained Too Fast. So Too Fast means when you use a heroic card it will cost less energy. So because this is Too Fast, let's say you used a heroic card that was 4 energy, this means it would only cost 2 energy. So overall, when this is starting to get upgraded, once again it looks like it's going to be a really good card. The next card we have here is Blast. This is a tier 2 version of this. With this particular card, when you attack an enemy you do knockback to them. Now when you redraw this card you do Forceful, and that's a stronger version of knockback that will actually be really important in this game, because there's various ledges you can hit enemies off, there's various environmental objects you can hit them into, or you can even bring up a portal from Magic or Ghost Rider and you can knock an enemy into it as well. The next card we have here is another Knockback one. This is a tier 2 upgrade of this particular card. It has quick, so if you defeat an enemy when using this, you'll get the card cost back for it. On top of this as well, when you use it, you'll draw a card for Iron Man, for that's great, and then it's got the knockback effect in it as well. So we have 3 more cards to go here, and they each progressively get more awesome as we run through them. This particular one is called Surgical Strike. This is based around the mechanic with Iron Man wanting to stack the deck with as many Iron Man cards as possible. So in this instance, there's actually 7 Iron Man cards within the hand, and that means that this attack will chain to 7 different enemies, which is absolutely amazing, as you can see. This next card here is another really pretty awesome one. So with this particular card, it will attack all enemies on screen. If you use the redraw mechanic, and you can use this up to 2 times, and you can actually ramp up the damage on this as well. The card in question is air superiority, and it's 4 heroic energy to use it, but the fact you're doing this amount of damage across the entire screen, it looks like it really will be worth the associated heroic cost. Now let's have a look at the last card. This is a legendary card. This is unlocked when you max out the relationship for Iron Man within the Abbey. Before we do actually go in and break down the mechanics of this card, I'm going to just let this animation for it play. This looks absolutely incredible. So there we go, that is the Hellfire Beam. As mentioned, you unlock this when you reach the maximum friendship level for Iron Man. You unlock the black and gold Midnight Suns costume as well for them. Now with this particular card, if we break it down, because we do have a tooltip for it, so with this one here, it's 3 heroic cost. You can see in this instance it's doing 50 damage. With all the other cards we've looked at, this definitely looks to be in the higher side. Damages enemies in a line because it's a unibeam attack, and then when you redraw this, you add 25 damage, so it's 50% damage you're adding when you redraw it. It doesn't say there's any limit in the number of times you can actually redraw it, so really incredible. Now we actually have the tier 2 version of it as well, so let's have a look at that one. So this tier 2 tooltip we have here, I notice the damage drops down. That's just due to the nature of the tooltips I have. The damage isn't going to drop down when you actually upgrade a card. This just must be on a lower level Iron Man. The part we're looking at in regards to the upgrade is the final line. So you get +1 redraw for each knockout, and this ability is going to be knocking out enemies, so it'll bump up your redraws. And then as we've talked about earlier on, the redraws are where Iron Man can really come alive. So I absolutely love what I've seen of his kit. Massively impressed what they're doing with the game mechanics and how they're actually mixing them in with the characters, and I'm curious actually. We've got the redraw mechanic and we've got the move mechanic. I wonder if there will be a movement based character. That would actually be really pretty great. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If the video has been helpful, please do take the time to hit that like, share and subscribe button, and thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.